Welcome to Wine Road, the wine, when, and where of northern Sonoma County. I'm your host, Marcy Gordon, with Beth Costa, Executive Director of the Wine Road. Once again, our show is on the air through the generosity and support of Ron Rubin Winery. Ron Rubin specializes in Russian River Valley Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, wines that to me truly capture the essence of the region. Check out their website at ronrubinwinery.com. Welcome to episode 179. Today our guest is Chef Helena from Baked on the River, and she's going to tell us all about what's happening, things to do in Guerneville, and her restaurant. Welcome, Chef Helena.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm super excited. I was thinking I was excited to meet you, but then you point out, we met before years ago when you were at the Farmhouse Inn. It's like, oh yeah, that's been a while. I haven't been into Baked on the River, I have to admit, but we have stopped there several times and my husband has run in, always to get a cup of coffee, and somehow he comes out with a bag of goodies. And I'm like, okay, so I see you got the coffee. What else is in your hand there?
It's a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble, it
Yes.
is. So tell us about Baked on the River, when you opened it and what people would find there.
Well, when we first opened in December 2018, my thought was to build a community place, and it was structured that way, and we basically just did baked goods and coffees and such, a little lighter, food, but not much at all. Then, of course, the pandemic happened and nothing was community any longer. Everything was individual. So we restructured the whole thing and ran it as a food truck pretty much through the windows. Stationary food truck, I would say.
But people were still coming.
People were still
so that's
coming.
great. Yeah.
We were lucky. We opened up the windows and we never had to close. So we stayed open the whole time through.
Oh, that's great.
So then really you were successful in that you had already built community because they continued to support you. So there you go.
We would never have supported we would never have survived without our community. The community is really has built us to where we are at. Now, of course, with time, we have built a good reputation and we do get a lot of visitors. Sometimes that maybe prevents our community to come because the lines might be too big or the wait too long. But that's a good problem for us to have.
That's a good problem.
I have to share you.
Yes, and I definitely encourage all our local people to call ahead of time and place an order, and then we will take care of them quicker than anyone else. So that's always a benefit.
So what's on the menu? What do you have?
Well, we have now become more of a restaurant than a bake shop, even though I never called myself really a bakery because we are not a full-blown bakery. We bake everything in-house, including our breads.
Wow.
But with adding on the food side now is actually that is our big part of what we're selling. We do also sell beer and wine, just so you know, because we are Wine Road, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So, and we have all local wine. And the winemakers that I've been working with for many years. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
But for the food, we do everything from sandwiches, salads, soup. We do dinners too, because we close kind of early. We close at 3 or 5 on the weekends, 3 on Friday and Monday. But we have many people pick up dinners in the afternoons or eat an early dinner. And we will, with time, extend our hours a little bit more. But as most of people know, that it's been hard to get enough staff.
Yeah, there's no staffing, sure.
So I have been trying to limit the hours to not burn out the staff I have. And we've been focusing on breakfast and lunch. And then I do events.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little setting right there. On the river.
It is. We have a little bit of limited view of the river, basically because the river has been so low in many years and we have a lot of brush in the way. But we're looking at expanding the yard so we can get more of a river view, which is going to be nice.
Yeah.
And we don't flood. We get flooded in like a little island, but we don't flood.
So don't say that.
Yeah.
It's a positive thing.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, that of course doesn't happen. It goes the other way. But now this summer the river is hopefully going to flow really nicely after all the rain we got.
It should be beautiful. So is this your first restaurant endeavor, or how did this come to be?
No. Many, many years ago, I opened a restaurant in Guerneville, my first experience, which was probably why we built our community so strong directly with this second time around. Basically because most people already know me as Chef Helena.
Yeah.
More chef and then a baker, I guess, and that's probably why I'm serving more food than baked goods at this point. But I opened a place called Charisma Wine Lounge and Deli. So, and then since then, I've run some wine bar kitchens. I've been working more under others and run their kitchens, and I've been bartending and serving and doing a little bit of everything. So I built a strong connection in the community.
And I understand you'll do catering at this point also?
Oh yes, that I have actually done for a long time, more as a private chef. I go out. We have a lot of rental units out in Guerneville area, so I go out in private homes, Airbnbs and places to do private dinners.
Gosh, that's something I swear I would never even think about that, but I know that's really a popular thing. My daughter has done that with her girlfriends. They rent an Airbnb and then they have a chef come in one night, and how fun! I mean, how fun for the guests.
Well, many
that's
times
a great thing
too
to do.
is families maybe where they have young children and it's hard for them to get out to a restaurant with a whole group, and then they can put their kids to sleep, hopefully.
Right.
And then I come in and I do the food for them and take care of them there. So
Guerneville has so many of those rentals.
And then I also work, I used to work more with wineries before, where I more specialized in tasting the wine and making the food for the wine.
Real pairings, yeah.
But more the opposite way than just doing my food and pair the wine with it.
Right.
That's my fun part, where I can play with flavors and textures and all of that. And I've done a lot of winemaker dinners through the years too.
Nice.
Yeah, that's an art to be able to do that.
Oh, it's so much fun.
That's fun, yeah. I was going to ask, do you have any signature dish? You mentioned, your background is Swedish. And do you have a Swedish flair to what you make? Or is there anything particular? Or you just pull from the bounty of Sonoma County?
Well, it's been very influenced from Sonoma County in a way where... coming from Sweden, we get, of course, a lot of influences from other types of food too. And how I grew up, we cooked everything at home pretty much. We were not much of going out to eat. And my mom loved to cook. So I learned to go harvesting from the forest and from the garden. And my dad was a hunter, so I got a lot fun stuff to play with. And my mom loved to bake, so I practically grew up with a rolling pin in my hands.
Yeah.
A very, very small one to start with, but then it grew bigger and bigger. And with my cooking style, it has influences from my background, definitely. It's not true Swedish everything, but I also put my own twist on it. But the flavors come through probably from Scandinavia.
So you do also, with your baking, a lot of gluten-free things at the...
I can't really call myself gluten-free due to the fact that I bake with flour in the building.
Yes, so exactly.
But I do use gluten-free ingredients for certain items. We also offer plant-based options too. I like to play with a lot of different things and try, but I feel that when we do things like that, they should not be so they are different from the other products. I want them to be that when you come in and you eat a gluten-free product, you wouldn't really know.
Right.
Unless you're very, knowledgeable
But
about
I think
it.
that's, I find that with a lot of things. I travel from here, I go north a lot up to Humboldt County, and there's a great co-op grocery store up there, and I do tend to buy a lot of goodies. Okay, I'm out of town. And oftentimes it's all gluten-free, and I just didn't pay attention on the label, and it's delicious. You don't know the difference. I think that 10 years ago you did, but you don't now. I mean, it's delicious.
Well, there are a lot of good ingredients to use nowadays.
Right.
I mean, you can play around with a lot of different things that can make it more close to the traditional baking.
The texture and whatever, right.
It tends to be a little bit softer and more maybe fudge-like sometimes. And, it doesn't mean that it's better for you all the time.
No.
But it's better for the people that have intolerance to gluten.
Right.
But I do also make, and that's something I want to continue working on too, I make guilt-free cookies, which means that those are actually good for you.
So in what way? Tell me.
Well, I grew up with a brother who was a type 1 diabetic. So we baked a lot for him, my mom and I, and even cakes and things like that. But it was very difficult back then, and the flavor was really weird sometimes. But nowadays, same thing there. There are much better products you can work with. And so what I have right now, I do almond cookies that are low carb.
Almond anything is good in my book, yeah.
And you can feel a little bit of a different kind of flavor to them, but they're good. And for me personally, I eat everything pretty much, with very few exceptions. But those cookies are the kind I go to when I feel like something's sweet, but I know I'm actually hungry.
Right.
And that's the problem most of us have. We go for the sugar when we're hungry, and that jeopardize our sugar levels and make us grumpy sometimes. But it helps temporarily.
So does almond flour then, and is there types of sugars that are used that are lower in the glycemic, or how does that work?
Zero sugar coffee. I use a monk fruit sugar.
Oh, okay.
And it's mixed with a chemical sugar too, so to get this texture. But it's the one that I found that has worked best for baking.
Nice. I prefer that because I personally don't like stevia, so I'm always appreciate when like monk fruit or other types of substitutes that aren't stevia.
But they also you have the coconut sugar. It's not a zero sugar carb, but it's a lower. There is a little bit of controversy about the coconut sugar extraction and such, but it's a great product to work with, and it has a lower glycemic index.
Yes, so. I've made things with almond flour, coconut sugar, but they never look right. I mean, I think that's me. My husband says I'm always like, here's the picture, and then here's what I made. And it just looks like a disaster, but it really tastes good.
It tastes good, yeah.
But there's something about the cohesion. It's a little bit tricky if you're an amateur like myself.
Well, practice
Yes.
gives,
there you go.
I think
you
my
just
husband
have to
would say,
do it
keep
over and over
practicing.
again until you find the right. When I start making stuff, I baked since I was probably 4 years old. And that's a true story.
Yeah.
Not all on my own,
Nice.
but with help, of course. But even when I opened up the bake shop in the beginning, the bread was kind of, yeah, maybe. But I
get a
had
feel for it.
like good days and bad days, and you learn your equipment, you learn
Right.
your product, and anywhere you bake from one oven to another, the result is going to be different.
Right.
So, you got to practice and do it over and over again.
So what's happening besides Baked on the River? What's happening in Guerneville? What do you think? What should people see and do and check out?
Well, there are a lot of different things. The big part that Guerneville is, I guess, known for would be Armstrong Woods State Park. People go and look at the redwoods.
Right there.
Yes, it's a very serene, nice area to just walk around and go have a little picnic in there is nice too. And also go on the river, of course. We have Johnson's Beach, which is a local beach, or they go down to Monterey to the bigger beach. You can rent kayaks or paddle boards. Or
It should be a great summer for that.
Oh, yes.
I'm on the river a lot up in Cloverdale where I live, but the river looks great this year. I'm excited.
Unless it's as cold as this last weekend.
Well, yeah, exactly. We need some more sun, but the river looks
chilly
good.
summer.
Yeah. I realized I didn't say anything about the food, did I?
No, let's hear some more.
Yeah, I guess I just jumped over that question a little. Yes, so we do sandwiches, salad, soup. We do dinners, and the type of food would be Scandinavian influenced, but also more California cuisine combined. And a couple of fun dishes that we have. We do, for example, scones and gravy. So instead of biscuits and gravy, those are very popular where we serve them, and they are kind of very crisp and nice into the texture, and then with a creamy, nice Swedish style gravy, and has an egg on top if you like.
Nice.
Oh my God, my husband would die for that.
We're very playful with our names too, because we are baked on the river, right?
Yeah, I love that.
So we play with our names on the menu, but that is up for you guys to look up on our menu, of course, on the website. side. But we also do a twist. One I can mention is that we do the hashipan, which is a playfulness of a pyttipanna, which is a Swedish dish where you take your leftovers, cold potatoes, cut them in pieces, and you saute them in a pan, and you take your leftover meats, saute them with, and then flavor it up. And on top, you put a soft egg, and you serve it with a little pickled beets and cornichons.
I love the flavor profiles of like Nordic food. You know, the pickled and the fish and like there's those profiles are just so sharp and distinct, and they're so delicious. And I could see, you know, combining that with a little Californian cuisine would just be amazing.
I haven't used so much of the pickled herring and stuff like that. But I do. But I think the flavors come through in certain ways anyway. And the pickled stuff definitely. But for the hashipan, I do with shredded potatoes. That's where the flavors comes from. And so we do shredded potatoes that we shred ourselves and cook up. So our oven is going all day baking.
I bet.
So the scones and gravy, I just can't get over that.
But that's just breakfast part.
I know, but like I never cared about biscuits and gravy. Like that does not appeal to me, but it appeals to my husband and a couple of my boys. But the idea of a scone.
Should I then also tell you that they contain bacon and...
better.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Or you can do a veggie version with smoked mozzarella and herb.
Oh my gosh, that just sounds so great. Personally, I love to go out to breakfast more than any meal. I mean, I've had great dinners, but to me, going out to breakfast is like the treat of the day. And I don't want to go to breakfast and have something that I could make at home. If you're going to go out, I want to have something different. I would never fix that. That sounds amazing.
We also sell a lot of soups. Soups is a big thing for us. We do like a salmon chowder. We do a salmon chowder, and we
my gosh!
But all our veggie soups are plant-based, so we also have a big draw with making plant-based food. So that is something.
Well, I think that's quite a nice little niche you have if people are going to pick things up to go for dinner. You know, that's
and
that's
also
awesome.
they eat, you know, in for lunch or sometimes even people have soup for breakfast. I'm surprised over that, but. It happens.
Yeah. Like a porridge.
It happens. Nice.
But then what I do that is a little bit different too, that I offer a sandwich, for example, a Bella sandwich, Veggie Bella, which is with roasted peppers and mushrooms, Bella mushrooms. And then we serve that on a sandwich with a pepper jack cheese and pesto. And you can have it like that. But if you don't do the bread, you can do it on a mixed green.
Oh, yeah.
Or we can do it on cauliflower thins. I do not make those, though, but that is also the option that we give.
So are you open 7 days a week?
No. We're open right now Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We add on an extra day in a few weeks, maybe in mid-June.
Yeah. Oh
and do a little dinner time.
We should head out there for a breakfast on a Friday.
That's just it's like a reverie
I'm in the
here.
zone on the scone thing. Okay, I have to get past that.
We have to get you into some different type of thinking.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have to come back here later with some to try.
Things.
So you do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Is there a break between the meals, or are you just open on those days straight through?
Yeah, we're open straight through from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday, Monday, and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the weekend.
Oh, nice.
So we do like an early dinner, but a lot of times people take out for dinner. But then I'm looking at opening on Thursdays and do noon to evening to do a dinner time. So we can do a little bit more of a dinner menu and add on some more dishes there.
So I've been there, but I can't think. You're not in the town of Guerneville, so are you in Monterey? What is the
We
address?
are actually in the town, but we are on the west side of.
Yeah.
So when you're driving
north.
towards the coast through Guerneville, we are on the left side. When you come out of Guerneville. So we're still walking distance to town.
And to me, I mean, we've spent the night or spent the weekend in Guerneville a few times. Just living in Healdsburg or Cloverdale because it's like a getaway, and my husband will golf at the little golf course.
Oh,
I can't think of what.
We love Northwood.
Northwood. Oh my God!
Beautiful.
I mean, it's a great little golf course.
It's a lot of water, though. You lose a lot of balls.
Yeah, probably. So he'll golf there, and then we'll just spend a whole day. I mean, there's cute little shops, lots of nice little galleries. I love spending the day in Guerneville, and it's so walkable to me. That's just, we'll stay like at the West Sonoma Inn. We've stayed there. We've stayed at a couple different inns out there.
Yeah.
And then
there's quite a few.
Walked around and
But it's sweet because we have a lot of art.
Yes, there's so many nice little galleries.
Yes.
And they're affordable. I mean, they have, expensive and beautiful things, but they also have affordable things that I could get.
It's time for our Fast Five. Who do we have on the line now?
This is Valerie from Dutton Goldfield Winery.
Hey, Valerie.
That's great. Thanks for calling in.
My pleasure.
What's your Fast Five?
Well, this is one of my favorite recipes. It's actually from the Greens cookbook. Greens Restaurant in San Francisco is this amazing vegetarian restaurant.
I love that.
And I have been making this leek and mustard pie tart for years.
Wow.
And I just made it recently, and so I thought of you guys. Exactly. So here are your 5 ingredients. So you need about 4 cups or so of leeks, 2 eggs, a cup of cream, some cheese, and 2 tablespoons of mustard, and that's it. So you saute your leeks. I like to saute them in some white wine, makes them a little extra tasty. Slice them up real thin, saute them in the white wine, about maybe 15 minutes till they get good and soft. While those are cooling, you beat your 2 eggs with a cup of cream, and then you add about 3 ounces of grated cheese. You can use whatever you want. I like Gruyere or cheddar, but you could use goat cheese or anything else. And then add about 2 tablespoons of mustard. You could do a little more if you like Dijon mustard, I should say. Yes, important to be Dijon mustard. You don't want your French's in there. If you like mustard a lot, you can make it 3 tablespoons. So beat all of that up and add your sautéed leeks that have been cooled to that. And then you put that in a pie crust and you bake it at 375 for about 50 minutes. And it is delicious.
That sounds amazing.
Holy, that
I
really
could do
seriously
that.
does sound good. I could do that.
I love leeks, and leeks are in season right now.
I love leeks too.
Leeks are amazing. Yeah,
so
I'm growing
fun.
them in my garden this year.
I feel like we do this segment just so that Marcy and I can come up with some 5 ingredients.
So Beth and Marcy don't starve to death.
Like, oh my God. Well, I like them because that does sound like that's easy.
It sounds so easy, and it sounds so good.
It sounds delicious.
And so what do you pair? What wine do you
I was
drink
just going
with
to say, the other great thing about it is you can pair this with your bubbly, a Chardonnay, or a Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
It is
would
very
go great
versatile.
with a Pinot.
Goes with anything.
I love it.
Savory and delicious. Oh, yum. So I'm going to definitely go home and make my husband make this.
Okay. Leek and mustard pie. It's so simple, and it looks really elegant as well.
Yeah,
a little bit
like
brown
really
and
went all
toasty on
out.
top. Yeah, exactly. People
All
think
right.
it did.
Well, we'll put that in the show notes. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in.
All right, thanks.
Guerneville, make it happen.
It has happened. A lot of things have happened there since I first got there in 2004. So, things are definitely on the up.
Krista, she's a force to be reckoned with. I love her. She's made so many things happen with her inn, the Boon. Boon.
Yeah.
I guess it's just called Boon or Boon Inn. I'm not sure. And that's just, bikeable distance up from her, up to Armstrong Woods. And there's just great little restaurants in town, great little shops. It's definitely easily a full day of adventure.
Well, there's a lot of colorful entrepreneurs in Guerneville, that's for sure. And it's a community that stands strong together. Well, I also like what they do now, that they try to bring more activities into town too, like with the festival, for example. We did a few weeks back, the Chamber also did one up on the bridge where they did art and food and things like that. So, a little by little, we build a fun community for our visitors that come there.
We do have, at the Wine Road, we do have quite a few lodging members out in Guerneville. And I was talking to a different guest on a different show and saying how many of those lodgings say their guests aren't here for wine country and wine tasting. They're here for Armstrong Woods and they're here for hanging on the river. And it's just a time to kind of regroup. And it's just peaceful and they can go to the coast. And that's really what people are doing in Guerneville, and they're walking around the town, and they're not getting in their car and going places and running from place to place. They're just chilling out.
Yeah. And it's a nice thing to do, and of course they combine it many times with wine pairing. But it's hard to maybe taste wine every single day.
Right.
You get wined out, right?
Yes. I'm waiting for that to happen. One of these days I'll be wined out.
That'll be a cold summer day.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so how will people find you? Do you have a website that they could order things from, or and get your hours and get menu ideas, or?
I have a website, bakedontheriver.com, and I don't really have ordering system on there
So they can call
yet,
you?
but it might come in the future here. But yes, you call in your orders, and we do take pre-orders on specialty items like birthday cakes and pies and stuff like that too.
And do you have the menu pretty well on the website or not? Yeah.
The menu is on the website for the food side, not so much for the baked goods.
Yeah.
But many times people go to the Instagram or Facebook page and they see pictures and feel what they want.
I like that.
Is the Instagram Baked on the River?
It is. I think when you search Baked on the River, it comes up. But if you go through my website, you will be linked through to it.
I find more and more people find what they want, where they want to eat through Instagram because it's such a great presentation of the photos. And
I agree.
Like
I want that.
Short videos.
I hosted a group of journalists here one time, and every restaurant we went to, one of the writers never looked at the menu. She only looked at Instagram, and that's how she picked what she wanted. I mean, it blew my mind, but I thought, well, I guess that's true. You can find, the photo of all these different
everything
things
you want.
and what looks amazing. Is that okay? That's how she ordered.
I see that actually with guests. I just had a group of people here the other day, and they were searching for the product that they had seen on Instagram. So they said, we want that thing with. Yeah. And I just like, okay, well.
It looks like this.
Yes. And they didn't show me the picture, but they described it in words. So there must have been someone else who posted it that they saw or something. I don't know, because I had not posted that myself. So that must have come from somewhere else. But another fun thing we do also at Baked on the River is that we have a garden in the back. I'm lucky enough to have a partner who's an excellent gardener.
Nice.
And handyman in many ways. But we grow our tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers and herbs and all of that. Right. And we also have a little tiny aquaponics system, which is really cute, with goldfish that are big chunkers at this point. But they fertilize the plants that we place in there for the summer.
Right. You have a whole ecosystem right there.
Yes. Small, humble, but fun.
Nice.
That's
and
great.
People enjoy that.
Yeah.
And our hummingbirds are flying around and butterflies and bees and stuff. So
it's a little
feels
paradise.
like a full garden. Right now it's still in a progress of getting set for the season, but come summer it's fully in bloom, and come fall.
Well, you'll have to check out, I think I told you, I have a friend, Beth Snow, who lives in Guerneville, and I first heard about you because she posts so many things about you and photos on her Instagram. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I need to check. That is why we stopped the first time coming home from the coast. I said, I've heard about this place a million times from my friend. Let's pull over and stop. And then somehow, instead of the cup of coffee, we had a bag of goodies.
Well, Beth has been a good customer of mine for many years, and yes, she's a sweetheart.
She's it all. Okie dokie. Anything else? I think, one thing we did want to do before we wrap up, I think we've been checking out personally a lot of other podcasts that we like, kind of seeing what people are doing. Is there someone that we wanted to mention?
Yes. So one of my favorite podcasts is the Swirl Suite. And it's a one-of-a-kind podcast that provides a vivid narrative of the beverage industry with 4 pros, 40 years of combined experience in wine sales, wine education, wine tourism, with your hosts, Sarita, Tanisha, Leslie, and Glynis. And they discuss their experience as Black women in a male-dominated industry and interview passionate people behind the wine and bring spirits you'll love to your attention. You can check them out at www.swirlsuite.com.
And that's sweet, S-U-I-T-E.
Yes, SWIRLSUITE, Swirl Suite. Check them out.
Swirl Suite. It seems to me that we had Sarita on the show at one point, and she had, wasn't it the coloring book that she had?
Yeah, she has an activity book called Vine Me Up. That's, the activity book is very cool.
It's cool. We had listeners that ordered it and send me emails and said that it was super fun.
You can probably find that on vinemeup.com. But also, I think she's coming out maybe for another one. And she's a great home chef. She does all these beautiful videos. I mean, it's just, you just salivate watching her videos. They're amazing. She does a really good job. So, check it out.
Okay, I think that's all we have happening for right now. Awesome having you on the show. Put links.
Yep, put links, put link to the Instagram too, and then we'll hook it all up. And I think you're going to get a lot more customers.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all the business we can get.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's a little gem in Guerneville, and that's what we love. We want to, shine a light on all that. So thank you so much for coming.
We still want to be here for the community, and we appreciate all our local business we have.
Absolutely. Okay, talk to you later.
All right, see you on the
Bye-bye.
Wine Road.